Hi everybody, this is Badri Rajashekar, founder and CEO of Jamm, and welcome to another brand new installation of a Jamm session. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about like parenting and what it means to be sort of a parent and working and trying to stay productive in the midst of this pandemic. And today, I've brought on my colleague and close friend Lauren Slattery, who like me has two children and is grappling the life of being a parent and sort of working at the same time and trying to stay productive and sane. So, Lauren, welcome. Well, trying is the operative word, I guess. Lauren, really curious to hear about sort of what your experience has been, sort of working from home and parenting at the same time, right? These are unusual times.
Yeah, I think it's a problem so many people are facing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I think you and I have talked about being envious of the people who are working from home right now without kids.
Right, that's right. That's
It
right.
must feel, just as productive as usual. But, the real challenge, I think, is we're being asked to do, many things at once, which is
Mm-hmm.
working, parenting, and, fortunately our kids are young enough, we don't have to worry about schooling.
Yeah.
But that's another layer on top of all of this that I can imagine having to manage. But, I think it's important. My husband and I try to keep it all in perspective, right? We're really, really lucky to be able to even be working
Mm-hmm.
at home and to
Mm-hmm.
be safe and have our kids with us. And,
That's right.
it's still challenging, but, when you put that lens on a day-to-day basis, it does help to, keep you grateful. So I think, the biggest challenge we're having is just schedule.
That's
right?
right. That's
And
right.
you're having the same thing. I mean, the two of us trying to get together is kind of a comedy of errors these days, but when I'm working now, it feels a little bit like a break. I don't know about you, but I'm like, right now I'm quiet room, no one's bothering me. There may be kids screaming in the background, but hopefully that's not being picked up on the mic.
Yeah, my 3-year-old daughter has figured out that she can actually barge into all of these meetings, and it actually annoys me, and it's become a game where she tries to barge into a meeting. Every time I have the door closed, she basically runs into the background. And I know a lot of people use like Zoom backgrounds and stuff, and these days I've almost sort of become militant about not using a background because
Yeah.
I think it's much more authentic to just just that's who you are, that's what you're dealing with, and
Yeah.
it's totally okay if you have your pets or like your child comes in the background, right? It's not a big
No,
deal.
I agree. It's kind of I kind of think it's video. Video is a kind of a great equalizer,
Mm-hmm.
right, for remote workers right now. So everybody has, a suboptimal office environment,
Right.
unless you're lucky enough to have an extra space. And so I think it humanizes the working relationships. I was talking actually to a neighbor who has a kid at home, and she's like, gosh, I've been working with some of my colleagues for 20 years, and I feel like being remote, I've actually gotten to know them better.
That's
because,
right.
I see their houses, I see
That's
their
right.
kids, I see their dogs, like all this stuff. So it's funny how it's definitely brought in a human layer to what is definitely a very bizarre experience for all of us, right? Not being together, but
Correct. And
yeah.
and just dealing with sort of the schedule with kids, and like you said, it's sort of everybody's trying to juggle a whole bunch of things, and I think it's okay for other people to be aware of sort of what you're dealing with, right? Like there's no
Yeah.
reason to sort of put put that in the background.
No, I agree. It's better to be real.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I'm kind of curious about like what you think sort of companies can do and teams can do to sort of set up the right
Yeah.
structure and environment to sort of get people to be
Yeah.
successful while wrangling their schedules.
Yeah, I mean, I think, my husband and I have spent a lot of time talking about mental health being most important for our entire family.
Right.
So I think that companies need to be really considerate of employee happiness, right?
Right.
This is a super challenging time, and everybody has their own version of challenge right now.
Right.
And so I think when I'm feeling particularly overwhelmed, that's a recipe for an unproductive day, right?
That's
so
right.
I think that some of the things that help me
Mm-hmm.
is a lot of flexibility. So,
That's right.
my husband and I are able to look at our schedules for the day and be like, okay, you take this shift, I take that
That's
shift.
right.
And, we're able to get work done in that way and still, give the kids the attention that they need. And I think we've been lucky enough that we've worked together for, over 10 years.
That's
and
right.
so, you trust that
Yeah.
I'm going to work on stuff. And
Yeah.
I trust when I ask you to do something, you're going to do
That's
it.
right.
So I think that there's this, this level of of trust and that's built into needing that flexibility, which I think is healthy for working relationships.
Yeah, and I think it's like just to sort of chime on top of that. I think it's sort of important this concept of trust you're talking about, which is sort of setting clear expectations and then trusting your team to sort of get stuff done, especially when they have like crazy schedules. I think it's going to become extremely important. I think leaders have to be sort of empathetic to that new reality and then figure out sort of what process works, right? Like not everybody can jump into a meeting at the same time, or I may have to run off to do something else. So I think it's super important to sort of set clear expectations and just sort of design for chaotic schedules, right?
Yeah, and I think it's setting clear expectations, but also being realistic about it, right? As much as I'd like to say my workday is as productive as it was when I was not trying to manage working and parenting, it's just not. It's just not how things are. And I don't think it is for any parent that's trying to juggle both. So I think that's also a layer of it is you just, to your point, I think you said, make sure that you're being understanding as a manager and being realistic.
That's right. I don't know.
That's just going to add to the pressure. If you're expecting the same output that you were getting before,
correct,
it's just not going to happen.
Correct, and it's all
everybody up for disappointment.
It's also like I think setting up the right, not only the right expectation, but it's also setting up the right systems, right? To say, hey, given this reality, how can everybody be productive to the best possible ability while staying sane and not like losing it, right? Like so, I think it's super important to be very intentional about sort of putting up the right systems in place, being empathetic, building that culture and trust. Not really sort of. I've seen sort of companies say, hey, you have to be online or you have to come to this daily stand-up meeting. I just don't think it works in the current scenario, right?
No, and I think for me also, it's when you only get a couple hours at a time to work, meetings can be kind of a momentum killer.
Correct.
It's not to say that I don't need to talk to you and ask a question, but if I look at my 2-hour window of work that I get in the morning and then it's filled, then I'm like, all right, well, I guess my day is meetings. That's
right. And I
don't know when the rest of my work's gonna actually happen.
Correct. There's nothing worse than just like hopping from meeting to meeting, and what you're really trying to do is to just get work done in between meetings, right? It's like, hey, I just want to talk to you for like a couple of minutes on the line. I don't want to be sitting in a meeting like bored out of my wits. That's cool. And how do you think parents should think about how to set themselves up for success, right? There are things companies can do, but are there things you could or we could be doing as sort of just parents?
Yeah, there definitely are. So I think that one of the big things is putting yourself first, so being a little bit selfish. Because I think I already said if we're not feeling healthy and productive, then we're not going to be able to deliver what we need to for our work. And so I think you have to be a little bit selfish right now and be honest and open with managers and your coworkers about what you're able to deliver.
Right.
And I think honesty is so critical right now. There's as much as, we have a laundry list of things we want to work on. I'm like, I'm just not going to get to that. So I think that if you set expectations with clear communications, then you're going to be in way better shape than just saying yes.
No, that's
saying no is key right now.
And I think what you sort of said really resonated with me a little bit in terms of sort of taking care of yourself, so that you can then sort of be supportive. All of your other parenting needs. It's almost like the oxygen that falls off from the airplane, right? You got to take care of yourself first before you can actually go and help your children. No, that's super useful insight, and obviously it's sort of an unprecedented time. We're all sort of winging it and trying to deal with it and figuring out sort of what works. But I think it's this is a super crucial element in terms of just being a parent and staying productive and being remote is sort of a interesting trifecta that a lot of people are sort of juggling with. So I really appreciate your insights, Lauren. Those are super useful. Awesome. All right, everybody. We will see you in the next Jamm session.